Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
I'm joined again by Tim from Valor Fights. Tim, you've just had what is known as possibly your biggest card of the year. It's known as because of what, not necessarily inside the cage, but what goes on outside, the money that you raise, the fight for autism. How did the show go? How did the money raising, have you even got a figure yet? How did everything go for the weekend, man?
Man, it was awesome. It was truly a career highlight for me so far. The venue that we got to do it in is a staple in Knoxville where I grew up, and so to be able to do an event there was really cool. And as for the event itself, it went great. We had a great crowd, a good hot crowd that was into the fights all night. But the fights delivered, all the way up and down the card from the guys, early in the amateur section all the way through the main event. I mean, everyone really came to put on a show and left the crowd with a good impression for sure. So, as far as that goes, it was awesome. Fundraising for autism went great. We raised over $5,000 donation for fighting for autism there that we were able to present to them in the cage, and it was just overall a very big success.
That sounds fantastic, and it's great to hear that you had obviously the money raised, and you had, like you said there, Kane from the WWE turn up, didn't you? OSP was there from the UFC. Yeah, well, obviously, OSP and I believe Holtzman are their local guys, so it was nice. And I also saw a little bit of footage of the event, the arena, because it was on Local 8 now. Is that? I assume that's a. Yeah, there you go. I saw that. You see, even though I'm in the UK, I thankfully. The internet will help me find this stuff out, so I had a little watch of the clip, and I saw the fight, the arena and everything. It sounds fantastic, and I'm glad it went well, and obviously the fight's produced. Look, Nick Gertz as well, dude stepped up, short notice, kudos to him, I spoke to him before the fight, and I take my hat to the man for stepping up on short notice, always do.
Yeah, man, that was incredible. Nick's one of those guys that, he stays in shape, he stays ready, and, he's always wants to fight, and so that, we were already kind of talking about having him on that card, when we were originally in the early planning stages, and I couldn't get, things to sync up exactly right with his opponent, so he ended up not being on the card, and then when Townsend pulled the week before, we reached out to him, and I get an intuition on these things, so I kind of was already a little bit proactive in reaching out to his coach Eric Turner and asking, hey, if Adam pulls, which I feel like he's about to, would Nick be willing to step up and take this main event fight, on this big show in his hometown, and it took less than 15 minutes before, he was essentially, hey, if he pulls, then we're in. And so, when Adam pulled, we pretty much were ready to immediately, shift gears and change our approach.
And he went in and got the first round submission as well, and so can't knock that, he short notice didn't bother him.
No, man, it was fast. I mean, it was, he went in there and threw his heel hook on real fast, and it was over, and it was actually kind of scary. I thought he'd torn Steven's knee out, but apparently Steven is okay. He's up and moving around better, and I don't think there's any major damage there, so that's good. But it was very impressive. They call him Slick for a reason. He's very dangerous, and when you meet him, he's one of the most unassuming guys. You wouldn't ever probably even think that he was a fighter. To tell you the truth, he's just a real nice guy, joking, very, very likable, and but when he gets in there, he's kind of the same way when he's fighting. He's joking around, laughing the whole time while he's fighting, but you got to watch him because, like I said, they call him Slick for a reason. He'll get you.
And I believe as well you had the talented guy, you had him on before on your previous shows, Damir Verhatbegovic. That's,
yeah, man.
I'll spit that out.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that guy's, I can't say it enough. I really think he's the top guy, like at 155 in our region right now, and his level is just, it improves every time, and his record is only 2-0 right now, but there's a lot of guys with a lot bigger records that probably wouldn't want to fight him right now. You know, that's he and Sid Wheeler, in my opinion, are the two guys that we've got right now that are just, you know, just really headed to that next level. I think just have that star potential.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be quite exciting for you when you've got, you know, talented guys on your cards coming up, and this, you know, they're fighting on your cards regularly, and you're seeing their progression, you know, from a promoter's perspective, because obviously they're not necessarily your fighters, but when you see this happening, it must excite you, just thinking to yourself, these guys could be going to the UFC soon, and it's just nice to be part of that kind of that journey for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we started kind of turning the corner ourselves as a promotion to where we can start expanding out and looking to put on the very, very best top fights that we can, you know, from a southeastern regional perspective, if you are East Coast regional perspective, without having to rely so much on, hey, you know, we've got to have this guy in this market because he sells tickets to get, you know, we're getting to the point where we've gotten enough sponsorships and distribution deals to where, you know, we can afford to bring in guys that aren't necessarily both from the same market or region, or either one being ticket sellers, and just to put on these big fights to where, you know, the cream will rise to the top, and hopefully these guys will get their shot in the UFC and through Valor, and people will see that we're a viable avenue, you know, to that end goal.
I've got to ask about Will Boldick. He beat Ned Spears. Does this mean, I don't know if you've spoke to Will since, I don't know if you spoke to him after or whatever, do you think this is potentially his next move now to professional ranks, or do you think he's going to stick at amateur for a little bit longer?
I believe he's going to go ahead and go pro. We spoke very briefly after the fight. He swung by before he left, and you know, I said, hey, you know, let's go and take this thing to the next level. There's not a whole lot more guys for you to fight as an amateur around here, and you know, the level of guys that you would have to fight at this point, you may as well get paid to fight them, because you know, it's not going to be much different than an entry level pro guy. So you know, to the best of my knowledge, I'd have to double check with him, but I'd say 90% he's going to go ahead and make that leap.
Yeah, I was speaking with him obviously before his fight, and I did touch on it. I did ask him, you know, about when would his time happen. Obviously, dependent on each result, because you can't look beyond the result. If he had a bad performance, he might have wanted to look at what was going on. But it's interesting to see where these guys are going, and the fact that you can offer this, you know, this transition from amateur to professional, and what you're also doing as well. I can see from the past few fights, you're matching guys up who are coming in with similar guys. You're not giving anyone cans. You're not putting them against guys who are probably too experienced for them, etc. You've got a nice, well balanced mix of fair fights, but fights that are going to test guys, especially, you know, look like Demir. You know, he had a tough test, but he came through.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think most promotions are pretty much in the same boat. You know, when you're just in the very entry level stages of starting a promotion, you in a way you have to cater to some of your local guys, and some of those guys, you know, are get used to fighting you know, lower level competition, you know, and building their record on bums. And you're at their mercy in the beginning stages, because you need them, but I feel like we've gotten to the point now where, you know, we don't have to put on fights like that anymore. You know, I feel like we are providing a big enough platform with enough exposure, you know, and big enough venues and doing big shows to where we don't have to do fights like that. And you know, that being said, that you know, records aren't everything. I mean, we had a great fight this last show. Chad Perrine and Ian Lawler fought. Chad Perrine was 0-3, but he's like a monster. He's got to be, without a doubt, the most deadly 0-3 that I've ever seen in my life. He's like, he just for some reason can't get over that hump. You know, he's 0-4 now. He lost that fight too. He got triangled at the very, like, he was most likely winning the first round. He was looking great, and he got triangled unconscious at the bell, you know, of the first round, and so it didn't work out for him again. So, but if you see, you know, I'll get you some video for these things. But when you see these guys, you're like, these guys are good. These are high level guys. They're tough. You know, the records aren't everything. The main thing we want to make sure is that the competition in the cage is still a good, entertaining, competitive fight, regardless of you know, what records are.
Yeah, that is a huge factor. It is getting that right. And like you said, when you said then he went out, he got went to sleep with that triangle straight away. I wanted to salute him. Went out on his shield. He was literally fighting till the last second. Love that in a fighter.
Oh, absolutely.
What's
he's a tough guy, man. He's probably winning the round. He was winning the striking. He had a big takedown, and Ian got that triangle up, and I'm pretty positive Chad heard the 10-second clapper and was probably just assuming he'd ride it on out, and unfortunately he's about 2 or 3 seconds shy.
And obviously we're only a few days gone since this last card. It was a bit of a whirlwind, like we said. It was your biggest card of the year that you host because of what you do externally, but now you've already got another card coming up very shortly, the 14th of May.
Yeah, quick turnaround.
Yeah, quick turnaround, busy boy. Look, let's point out. I'm gonna pick a fight out. You've got your middleweight champion Sidney Wheeler fighting on that card against Kendrick. Is it Miri? Let's pronounce it.
Yeah, Kendrick Myrie.
Man,
this one is not to take anything away from the card that we just had this past weekend, but man, I think this one's better. I think this one here in Chattanooga is really kind of our crown jewel so far, and I keep saying that. I feel like every time I talk to you, it's like this next one's our best one, but I guess that's my job is to make sure the next one is always better. But yeah, man, Sidney Wheeler is he's a 19-year-old phenom. He's the real deal. He's 4-0 now. We've thrown nothing but killers at him. He's had no easy fights. He's 4-0 is earned, and he's our middleweight champion right now. There's plenty of veterans in this area that don't want to fight him. So Kendrick Myrie is going to be, once again, his toughest test is coming from Boca Raton, Florida, with a great camp down there and a bunch of killers he's training with. And, he's a 2-time World Series of Fighting vet. His only 2 losses have come by decision on World Series of Fighting. And, it's going to be a very tough test for Sidney, but one that if he passes, I would think would surely have to move the needle for him with the UFC.
Well, that's why I thought I'd mention about Sidney, because we spoke about him last time. I remember when you were on and you said to watch out for this kid, and you just kept throwing killers at him. I like the fact that you've got a guy, like you said, Dan Kendrick, who's another tough test for the kid, and if he can come through, I like you said there, it's really going to start putting his name on not just the regional, but kind of the map in the US. People are going to start taking notice of this kid, because he goes from prospect to what would you call it? Not perennial, like a contender, let's say, in the middleweight division, someone to look out for. And this is probably that big fight. That's that big fight for him coming up now, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a tough test for him. It's his biggest one yet, but he wants those kind of tests. He wants to go from here to the UFC, and he feels like he's ready to compete with those guys. And at 19 years old, he's just a phenom, really. And I've said this before. He fights the way that they wish Sage Northcutt fight. He's the 19-year-old guy that really truly has the goods. And so. And he's a great character. He's got a great look. He's hilarious. He's very confident in himself, we'll say. And he's just a great interview and a great personality and just the full package. So the All-American kid, Sid Wheeler, he's somebody to watch, that's for sure.
I'm sure. Tim, you and I remember when we were that age, we were fearless. Then we got older, and yeah. Look. That fight's happening, but is there any other fights on that card for you that people should anyone to keep an eye out for that's maybe gone under the radar, so to speak, that's a prospect to look out for? Any faces that we should be, making a note of?
Yeah, man. We got 2 other, pretty much our top 3 pro fights, in my opinion, get main event in any regional pro show in the Southeast, I think. And, we're going to crown our first ever bantamweight pro champion with 2 undefeated guys, Brandon Webb and Ronnie Lawrence. Both are studs. I think that Ronnie's probably the best 135 pro in Tennessee. I think that Brandon is most certainly one of the top 2 or 3 135 pros in Georgia. So those guys, somebody's always going to have to go, and somebody is going to elevate themselves even higher. So that's another really high-level fight. And then we've got a female pro fight with what I would have to proclaim to be the top 2 145 female pros that are unsigned in the East, on the East Coast, and that's Amy Coleman and Annie DiCrescente. And they're both killers. They're females are hard to match as it is, but both of these girls, I have spent months of my life scouring the galaxy trying to find girls that will come fight them. I'm talking from all over, and it's hard. It's nearly impossible. And so to be, it's kind of one of those, like, finally, it's kind of a dream fight here that they're going to fight each other. And it's kind of one of those things where, really, I don't have anything else for either one of them after this. So I'm hoping that the winner will get picked up by the UFC or Invicta, because they're certainly worthy of it. And, they're just so good that we really don't have any competition for them left, in this region. So after they fight each other, I really hope that one of them, if not both, get a good look from the big show.
And that is a serious compliment to both of those girls, really, isn't it? That there isn't much else around there. They have to fight each other. Well, look, I'll be definitely keeping an eye out. Look, I look forward to when any fight card comes up. I'm a big fight fan. I love looking out for faces, new names, new prospects, female, males, bantamweight, heavyweights, whatever, because I like to see evolution. I like to see fresh faces and see what people are bringing. And Tim, your shows are doing that. This year, this is kind of like the takeoff year for Valor Fights, where it's stepping up that next level with the kind of attention and where it's reaching out to.
That's our goal, man. I felt like at the beginning of this year, this had the potential to be a special, benchmark year for us, and so far so good. We're almost to the halfway point of the year, and we've already done some bigger and better things than we've ever done, and we've got hopefully raised the bar, to where we can surpass that in the second half of the year and do even bigger and better things. I feel good about this, the partnership we've got with Flocombat right now.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with Flow Wrestling, and that's a really big deal in the wrestling circles, and they're trying to make a mark in the combat sports industry. So, we'll see what kind of splash they can make. We heard a lot of good reviews of our show. It's the first show to ever stream on there, and the numbers were good and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how they built this platform and see if it becomes a viable competitor to Fight Pass, who we're having talks with. Actually, up until this point, they were just a little slow to pull the trigger, but they're still interested, in us when our deal with Flow's over. So we're in a really good spot right now. The better that we do, and the better we perform, and the more value I feel like that we'll bring to either of those when it's time to go back to the bargaining table in June.
Look, you're dead on there, Tim, because with the Flow combat, you got Jerry Botter going there, front row Brian. There's a handful of talented guys over there as well. I know went over, so it's a great position on that side of things, and those people are fantastic to work with. So, like you said, mate, who knows? End of the year, you could be signed up on UFC Fight Pass, which will just literally put you through the stratosphere with publicity. And I can't stress enough how I hope all these things happen for you.
I appreciate it, man, for sure. Yeah, we appreciate all the coverage that you guys give us. It's a good thing. We love listening to all the interviews.
And look, before I let you go, Tim, can you let everyone at home know how to jump onto the social media side of things of Valor Fights, how to keep on top of it, and if they're in the regional area, they can go to shows. Obviously, if they're not, they can keep an eye out on what fights coming up and results and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. On Facebook, it's Valor Fights. We're at Valor Fights on Twitter. We really are kind of trying to make a concentrated effort to get our Twitter up. Our Facebook has always been kind of our main social media avenue, but since we brought Brian Levick on, he's really trying to build our Twitter up to those numbers. So, follow us on Twitter at Valor Fights.
Yeah.
And, our website, valorfights.com. You can get our schedule on there for upcoming shows, and for our next 4 shows, including the last one, you can catch all that action on flowcombat.com.
Awesome stuff. Tim, pleasure as always. Have a great little few days of semi-rest before you get ready for the next one. And look, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep your great standards.
Great. Thanks, John. I appreciate the time.